So up next, we have our innovative digital leadership strategy within TI, and we have several principals here as well as my teammate, Heather Worrell, and we've got Tonya Arnold from Fern Creek. Hello, Miss Arnold, how are you?
Hi, I'm doing great. How are you?
Doing well, doing well. And we also have Stacey Rowan, who's the principal at Slaughter Elementary. How are you, Miss Rowan?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Doing well. And good morning, Heather. Almost afternoon.
Good morning, Elaine. Thanks for introducing our awesome principals. We're so excited to feature them this morning on the Digital Learning Channel. Happy Thursday to our viewers. And we're going to go ahead and get started. Are you ready, Tonya and Stacey?
Yes. I'm ready, yes.
Okay. Well, first thing I'm going to do is I am going to share my screen. We've all gotten really good and more digitally agile at screen sharing during this time. All right. Can you see this, everyone?
Looks great.
And next, I'm going to turn on my captions. There we go. Okay, and so I'd really like to just start with this slide about digital transformations. And in JCPS, we know that digital transformations happen when digital agility is modeled from the top. And so every day this week, we've talked about this pyramid and what a great job that our district leaders do of leveraging digital tools to create digital workflow to lead our district teams and work with our principals, and then our principals, which we're featuring two today. We featured several this week, and how they are digitally agile and leveraging the digital tools to create that digital workflow to lead their schools. And then the benefit of that is that our teachers, library media specialists, STCs, SDILs, have experiences through technology, through their principals' leadership. And then, of course, we always have those early adopters who we call those the sprinters. But for those teachers who lack the confidence with technology, they're getting exposure to the digital tools through the principals' leadership. But we make no bones about it. Our end game is through this structure that we build the confidence and competence of adults so that they feel more comfortable integrating technology into their instructional design, because our end game is that kids in our classes are getting to create and innovate with technology. So, this NTI period has really allowed people to live in the growth zone where they have time to learn technology and they're trying new things that they've never tried before. So we're bringing on principals to talk about that strategy. And we're asking them these 4 questions. What systems have you and your team created to support your NTI strategy? What are those lessons that you've learned during this time? And this is the question that I'm really excited about. Where are you heading as we ramp up for the next school year? How will this impact your vision, your leadership vision for the next school year? And then, because it is Teacher Appreciation Week, who are those staff members that have been so effective? We call them the NTI stars. We've been on a star search. Who are those teachers that you want to shout out that have been effective during this NTI closure? So we started on Monday with these 3 rock star principals. Jack Jacobs, who everyone knows that there is a school signature item in the backpack, and actually at Bloom, it is all about digital skills. Faith Stroud, she was one of the first pioneers in JCPS to pilot a one-to-one Chromebook several years ago. And then Willie Foster, who really speaks to how he's been able to sustain a strong school culture using digital tools during NTI. Then we moved on to Laura and Stephen, who really shared their infrastructures for communicating with staff and parents. And then yesterday we had an all-star middle school team talking about how this has impacted their relationships with parents and how they've been able to sustain school culture and create systems of efficiency, and how this also will transform instruction moving into the next year. So that brings us to these 2 fabulous ladies, Tonya Arnold and Stacey Rowan. So we're excited. I'm going to stop screen sharing. Stacey, since I see you in the bottom right corner of my screen, we're going to start with you. Could you share a little bit about your strategy during this NTI closure period?
I guess some of the strategies that we currently do, some of the things that we do, we've always done, but because this is different and the learning is being done with the computer, One of the things we have started was, I know the district rolled out a choice board. So we took a look at that, and with the help of another friend, I kind of got some ideas from them. She works with another district, and we decided to do our choice board in the form of a must-do, can-do columns where students obviously the must-do are the things that they should be doing, and then once they've completed that, they also have another column with what they can do. And I like this format because it also it touches on like personalized learning. It also touches on deeper learning and project based. And yeah, basically that's one of the things that we have incorporated this year. And we also have a system where we communicate with families. We have a family contact form that teachers are filling out weekly, especially when they cannot get in contact with certain students. And my attendance clerk kind of mans that, and she coordinates with the other classified, and they're the ones who go about contacting families. So I think that's been the strongest things that we've done this year so far, that I'm really proud of that. And so we just this past week, we had 96% of our students participating in NTI.
Congratulations. That is extremely high. Stacey, those choice boards, so are you leveraging the district choice boards? Are your teachers using those to help them make choice boards for their individual classes? How's that work?
So actually, before we were confined to our homes, our teachers were already ahead of the game as far as with planning. So we've already had cycle 4 planned out. So they pretty much used cycle 4 and created their lessons and choice boards based on that. We also, for our students who are non-digital, we are using the district's choice boards, but for the most part, our teachers are the ones creating those lessons for that choice.
That's exciting. So that kind of leads us to the next question. Based on everything that you and your staff have learned, which, by the way, Elaine, we see some slaughter teachers representing in the chat over there, don't we?
Yes, we absolutely do. They are, Shannon Phillips says hello, and let's see, Liliana Quintana, she's from Fern Creek, so they are all over here singing your praises, I know. And let's see, we have Lee Slusher too, so, and Bev Verbert, so they say hello.
I think Russ has issued a little bit of a challenge. Are the slaughter teachers or the Fern Creek teachers going to represent in the chat? So they're hopping in there and rallying their principals, which is exciting. So the question is, based on everything that you and your staff have learned, and it sounds like choice boards with the CanDo and MustDo. I haven't heard that yet. So that's a really innovative or good idea, an innovative idea. So how will this impact as you all prepare for next year?
I think because it's going over so well with the CanDo MustDo, I think it perfectly aligns with our racial equity plan with student voice and choice. And I think it's just that one step further as far as personalized and individualized instruction, where students can actually choose what they want to do with classroom assignments or even homework. So I do think the CanDo MustDo format will be something that we will carry over for next year. It's going to be a part of our system now that I see that it does work.
Yes, and that is, to me, one of the biggest silver linings in all this is we're seeing the power of technology tools for personalization and differentiation and choice and voice and all those things like never before. So let's talk about Teacher Appreciation Week. And NTI stars, like who would you like to really shout out and celebrate?
That's very difficult to do. I honestly cannot sit here and pinpoint one particular teacher in my building. And I tell my teachers this all the time, and I'm going to say it out publicly, but slaughter is the best kept secret of JCPS. We have some of the hardest working teachers in JCPS, and if you were to visit some of their classrooms, even now with NTI, you would feel as if you're sitting in their classroom, like nothing has changed, and which is pretty amazing. So I honestly, again, I can't sit here and pinpoint one particular teacher, but what I can say is those teachers that I feel are the most effective are those same teachers who they're continuing to pre-plan, and they're organized with their lessons, and they have really good relationships with their students. So, and I commend them, especially during this week, being that it is Teacher Appreciation Week. That I'm very proud of the work that they're doing right now. So
I have visited your school and spent time with your team, and you guys really do have it going on. I love the energy in your building. Your assistant principal, she is a bright star in the district as well. You guys are taking some risks with integrating technology and VR, and a couple of, was it Project Lead the Way you all were looking at?
Yes, we have Project Lead the Way, yes.
Yes, so you guys are definitely a very innovative elementary school in our district, and we're so proud to showcase you and your team on the channel. So we're going to get your final comments after we hear from Tonya, and we'll go ahead and shift over to Tonya Arnold. Good morning.
Good morning.
We're excited to hear from you. Take it away.
Okay, well, I have to say, just like Stacey mentioned, this has been it has been a really, I guess, eye-opening experience for our school, just to already see the wonderful things that have been going on in the classroom. I think this NTI experience has just really highlighted what our school is already doing. But it has allowed us to already put the focus on some of the important work that we've already have been doing in our school. I'm going to try to share my screen. All right, there we go. So I just wanted to go back and look at our mission, and our mission was to provide a safe and nurturing academic community where all members are empowered to achieve their highest potential whenever we went back into the NTI process.
Tonya, try those captions one more time. So just click captions. Yep, you're good. It should be good to go. You should go ahead and start talking for me.
Okay, so whenever we went back into the NTI process, I just wanted to make sure that we were really looking at our mission of our school, and just making sure that we were providing that safe and nurturing academic community where all of our members were empowered to achieve their highest potential, and really that we were creating that structure around it. So
that caption button one more time. I am so sorry.
That's okay.
Just push it. There you go. You got it.
All right.
You click allow, that you're going to allow your microphone to work in the top left corner.
All right.
Yay. Now we got it.
Got it. So we just wanted to make sure our mission was really captured within our academic culture. And academic culture was one of the things that we were really focusing on in our school. So looking at System 1 and System 3, particularly making sure that we were looking at our standards and curriculum implementation, specifically at 1.7, that all student populations, including but not limited to the students of color, ECE and ELL, had access to on-grade level standards-based instruction, and that 3.4 with the unit and lesson design included explicit considerations for the use of high-yield instructional practices, and the cultural and social contributions of diverse students populations, including but not limited to students of color, ECE students, and ELLs, to ensure relevance and equity, and 3.5. And we've really been working on this all year long with our embedded PD, our professional development. So whenever we went to making sure that our school portal, we really wanted to make sure that all of our parents had access to our school portal. So we looked at the majority of languages that were spoken in our school. And we wanted to make sure that our school portal replicated those major languages. So Arabic, Spanish, French, Kinyarwandan, and Nepali were the languages that we put on our school portal, so that the parents could understand the school portal whenever they came to find the students' choice boards. And then we wanted to make sure that we were supporting the languages whenever the teachers or our school community were calling the parents to support them. So we were making sure we're using those language lines that were provided from the district to talk to our parents and reaching out to communicate. We also wanted to make sure that whenever choice boards were provided for the parents or for the students, that we were replicating the district choice boards. And we did that in our school. We used the same colored backgrounds for each grade level. But we also, if you look, you'll notice that this is a fourth grade choice board for this week. You'll see that there's ESL support on here links, and there's also ECE support links on here, so that the teams, when they plan, they plan in collaboration with our ECE teachers and also our ESL teachers, and they link support on there for the students and for the parents, so that they know exactly what can help to support their students whenever they're working from home. And if, a lot of times we have students that do have that digital support at home, but they may not have access to it. They may have 4 or 5 siblings at home. So they may only have that support for a short period of time. And that the parents can see exactly, maybe they can print that support, or maybe they can watch that video, the child can watch that video, and we'll have that support for that period of time at home.
Well, that is remarkable. And your team, you have like a pep rally going on in the chat over there, just so you know. A lot of the teachers and staff have turned out. Dr. Coleman is also there and wants to give you and Stacey a shout out. She said she loves the Zone 2 leaders. Anything else, Elaine, that you'd like to share from the chat that you see going on?
Oh my goodness, you have your art teacher that has joined. I've seen counselors that have joined, and they're definitely, they shouted out to that you had on your choice boards the languages, the different languages there. And I thought that's just different. I haven't gotten to see that. So, and then I wondered even if you possibly had kids that would click on that, just be curious what that language looks like and be able to kind of compare what their language is with the same thing from another language. And that's just fantastic. Love it.
Well, I have to say, our staff has have really embraced our community of language learners. And I have to really applaud our teachers who have been working collaboratively with one another, looking at Teacher Appreciation Week. And just our entire staff has done a great job of really beginning to embrace that. How can we engage all of our families and all of our different languages? And our students are really good about looking at these different cultures and how, Ramadan's going on right now. And one of our teachers, I was in her classroom, and she was teaching about, had one of our ELL teachers come in who's celebrating Ramadan. And she was teaching about what Ramadan is and how that looks. So we're starting to see that culture shift, and, how we're looking at these different cultures, and how it maybe parallels your own, but also how it's different. And I think this NTI process has maybe allowed that to happen a little bit more.
Well, it's interesting you say that. Yesterday we had Shalonda Foster, who's the principal at Western Middle School. And if you didn't get to see her episode yesterday, you should go back and watch it. She talks, did you see it, Tonya?
I did.
She talks about how she thinks that her school community is closer to her parents and better connected and in tune with the parent, as parent stakeholder group than ever before. And I just thought that was just amazing to hear. And it sounds similar to kind of what you're saying now.
I would agree with that. I see that there have been many opportunities to allow us to make better connections with our parents through this process.
So another silver lining. So a lot of people are in the chat. Michael Terry, your executive administrator of Zone 2 Elementary Schools, is in the chat. And he says you're doing a fantastic job. So thinking about everything that we've learned, Tonya, what do you think you will take into your strategy for the next school year? What are some lessons learned and some things that you want to incorporate as you build that ramp?
We were in a coaching session yesterday with a group of teachers, and it was our 5th grade team. We were actually discussing some of the strategies that we wanted to do with our parents next year as far as engagement. One of the things we wanted to look at was offering professional development sessions for our parents, and looking at how we will bring them in to work with digital access, and how we will work with like Google Classroom. And
you're going to provide professional development for parents. I think I just got cold chills on Google Classroom.
Yes,
that's a great idea.
We've even discussed this with our kindergarten team as well. So, how can you work with your kindergarten student, getting them logged in? And even thinking about, as we move more toward a one-on-one environment with our district, this is going to be, providing the homework more on devices. So what does a Google Classroom look like? How do you provide these opportunities for students without access? I think it's going to provide all of our schools more innovative ways to do things than we have in years prior.
Extend learning beyond the brick and mortar school day. And
Absolutely.
That's what Faith Stroud talked about in her session. She talked about how this will impact ESS.
And we actually are doing a summer session, a virtual ESS session this summer.
Wow, very exciting. Okay, so it is Teacher Appreciation Week, and you have a lot of teachers in that chat. So what do you want to say to your teachers, or a teacher, or a group of teachers?
Honestly, I cannot be more proud of where we were, because Heather, you came in whenever I first stepped into this role, and where we were as far as digitally in classrooms. And, we were just talking about setting up Google at our school and a classroom and modeling it, and where we are now. We have, and this is from top to bottom, our school has moved miles from where we were. And
now you're a Kentucky Go Digital presenter at conferences. And you have an episode on the Digital Learning Channel with Melanie Page.
Yes.
If you haven't seen it, viewers, you need to check out her episode with Melanie Page. Is it on Kentucky Go Digital too?
It
so
is.
Now your school's like a state leader in thinking about supporting teachers with their tech, digital agility development. So
we just, it could not be done without the teamwork of the staff that we have in our building. They have just really started to grasp on to what we're doing, and take the reins of what needs to be done in our school. And it could not be done without the teamwork that we have.
Awesome. Well, Stacey, any final words that you have now that you've listened to Tonya and we've talked about a few of these questions?
Yes. Well, excuse me. A lot of things that Tonya has mentioned, I must agree with her. This process has definitely caused us to be closer with our families. Not only that, just the collaboration. You could see true collaboration with our teachers, our EL teachers, our ECE teachers. And none of this work, this work can't be done without the help of them as well. But some of the things that as far as, can I talk about moving forward? Some of the things that we definitely will
Absolutely.
So Kathleen Receiver has been to our school and provided professional development for Google Classroom for our staff. So my teachers were pretty much already kind of used to Google Classroom, and our students we have been one-to-one Chromebook for 2 years now. So one of the things that I feel that we need to work on moving forward is providing that certification, some sort of Google Classroom certification or professional development, not just to, I love the idea about the families, but I think our students need some type of formal training on Google Classroom. So that's our next steps as far as moving forward. And definitely if NTI is something that the district is bringing as a practice that we will use in terms of if we have like snow days and things of that nature, I'm just wondering if there's some kind of way we could alter the attendance policy for students who are out sick. We have those students who never miss, but then all of a sudden they may get the flu one time and they're out of school for a few days. Can we not use that NTI platform? And maybe that will help increase the attendance rate. So
great idea.
Yeah, that's something to look into. Definitely, I'm not sure.
Also, when teachers are out, when we think about substitute teachers, our teachers are currently building banks of videos, on-demand videos. So I think even when our teachers are out, the learning will continue in a stronger way, more intentional way.
And I'm going to have to let you guys know, as a special ed teacher, an ECE teacher, having the digital tool embedded into the classes that I went, because I needed to jump from class to class, it allowed me to keep in the know and make sure that I supported my students, and because I was able to be a co-teacher, a true co-teacher with the teachers. So those digital tools helped me as an ECE teacher tremendously.
Yeah, that's awesome. I do agree with that. But yeah, basically that was all I wanted to share.
I think that's great. And we have to give Kathleen Receiver a shout out. She is
absolutely
a remarkable district leader, and we're so lucky to get to work with her. And Jim Unger supports your STC, so shout out to both of them. So Elaine, we're going to be back tomorrow. We have 2 more principals from Zone 2. We had so many principals from Zone 2 get nominated, we had to break it into 2 sessions. So tomorrow we have Danelle Randall, and she is at Simple Elementary, and we have Ben Pinnock, and he is at Wilt Elementary, and then we have several principals next week as well, and we're building an entire playlist of principals talking about NTI strategy and where they're going to head next. So really exciting stuff. Let's talk about the chat real quick before we let them go. I mean, we've been doing this for 4 weeks. And I must say, I have never seen a more enthusiastic chat than we have had for this 30-minute session. The creek is rising. I mean, there's all kinds of good stuff. Dr. Coleman had a couple of points. She was very interested in that parent training and in doing some sessions on that and that vision. What else do you see in there, Elaine?
Lots of love for sure. They're all like you said, they're way to go. Adrian Titus said, I love the way that these leaders are thinking about the growth of the entire learning community, teachers, students, families through NTI. And I love also what you said about having this ensure this whole infrastructure of NTI now going on to snow days and sick days, and even teachers being out for a prolonged amount of time. So it's just going to support so many people. But and then Dr. Coleman says, I love the way you're thinking, Stacey. Kids do need support in knowing how to use Google Classroom. So great thinking. And you could do badging for your kids, and so they could get that badge. I love that. Awesome.
And there was a great virtual PD yesterday on the badging.
Yes, if you missed yesterday's PD, where was that teacher from? Which school?
Middletown.
Oh my goodness, we'll get that on the channel on demand, but his digital badging session was out of this world. I'm like, he was you talk about a star search, he was like hidden somewhere and we found him. So, a lot of people have asked the digital innovation team, can we do this? Can we do that? Can we, we think about next year, and what we always say is the answer to how is yes. We will move heaven and earth for kids. Anything is possible. The sky's the limit. So principals, teachers, you keep dreaming it up, and we will find a way to make it happen. Thanks to everyone for a great episode today. Thanks to our rockstar principals, Stacey and Tonya.
Thank you, Stacey.